Three inmates who escaped from the DeKalb County Jail are expected in court in Florida this morning.
The three remain there after DeKalb County Sheriff's deputies say they held a rideshare driver hostage, forcing her to drive them to Florida. Atlanta News First reporter Mary-Kate Hamilton is live at the DeKalb County Jail. So, Mary-Kate, a lot of questions still about how they escaped.
Absolutely. We still don't know the exact timeline of when they escaped or exactly how they managed to escape, with DeKalb County officials citing future security concerns as the reason to not disclose that information. However, all three inmates will be seen today in a Broward County, Florida court this morning. That's set for 9 o'clock. Yusuf Minor, Stevenson Charles, and Naod Johannes escaped Sunday, December 21st. Early in the morning hours of December 22nd, Atlanta News First was able to deduce using police scanners that jail officers believed prisoners had escaped. Then it wasn't until about 10 a.m. that the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office released that three prisoners with charges including murder, arson, sodomy, and aggravated assault were on the run. By the early morning hours of the 23rd, the three men were already in Florida. This after kidnapping a rideshare driver, forcing her to drive them there, and threatening to kill, sexually assault, and torture her. The DeKalb County Sheriff says releasing exactly how or when these prisoners escaped would compromise future jail security.
We would not like to be more specific as not to give out the person's ideas of how to further compromise this building, but we're making some adjustments.
The inmates will eventually be extradited back here to Georgia, where they'll face additional charges. Again, that hearing is set to start at 9 o'clock this morning. In DeKalb County, Mary-Kate Hamilton, Atlanta News First.